A jury just awarded a former Tulsa Police major more than $500,000 in a lawsuit against the Tulsa Police Department.
Major Tracy Lewis claimed she was demoted for speaking up about the police changing a job listing. But police say they demoted her for assaulting an employee. Tulsa's investigative reporter Jana Clark covered the trial for us all last week. She just talked to the major about how it all ended.
Retired Major Tracy Lewis told me she was feeling confident during the trial, but when she heard the jury ruled in her favor, she was overcome with emotion.
And when she said we find in favor of the plaintiff, Tracy Lewis, I mean, so deeply emotional. It was, I didn't even hear the rest, really. Didn't even hear it. I mean, my daughter's crying and I'm crying.
Why was it so emotional for you?
It felt very good to know that 12 people unbiasedly listened to what the story was and saw through, you know, what was going on behind the scenes and make a decision based on what they heard.
What was the jury's reaction after they read the verdict?
Me and this one lady that we had made eye contact several times, well, she locked eyes on me and I said, I'm starting to well up. And I just said, I mouthed the words, thank you. And she went, you are so welcome. She mouthed it back.
In the trial, Lewis claimed retired Major Gerard Hummel changed a records supervisor job, specifically for Tina Gustafson. In court, both Hummel and Deputy Chief Jonathan Brooks said it wasn't wrong to change the job listing. These court documents show police believe Lewis assaulted the employee. This document says Tracy Lewis obviously has no evidence that anyone lied. Lewis punched LaDonna Scott in early February 2015, yet Lewis still refuses to accept responsibility for her actions. LaDonna testified that Lewis hit her, but Lewis testified it never happened. You filed an arbitration, an internal affairs complaint, ethics complaint. You filed a lawsuit. The police still say that it was okay to change the job listing. They still claim that you assaulted an employee.
Yeah, I mean, that was their case. They said it happened. Are they sitting back going, ooh, you know, maybe it did happen like she said. It's just disappointing because they chose not to listen and look at it.
Throughout the week, did you feel like it was going in your favor or not so much?
I will say I felt pretty good. I felt pretty good, mainly because I got out what I wanted to get out.
You were able to talk to some of the jurors afterward. Did they tell you what it was that made them want to go in your favor?
They just said overall that my testimony came across very truthful and theirs did not.
The jury awarded you $569,000, and with attorney's fees and costs, it could end up being more like $1 million.
I am very grateful for the jury finding in my favor, and evidently the jury thought I suffered that much amount, and I'm very grateful for that, for the jury's work on that, but it's not about the money. It wasn't about the money.
It wasn't about the money. What was it about?
Being heard. I'd had so many hearings and so many interviews, and you know, and nobody was listening. I wanted people to have to say out loud to the public the lies that they told to set this whole thing up. And so that's what I wanted, and that's what I got. And they heard it. They heard it and went, oh my gosh, you know, this happened.
Do you think the city will appeal?
I really don't know. I really don't know.
What would you like to see happen next?
What I would like to see is maybe some processes changed a little bit, especially the IA, internal affairs process.
So what's next for you?
Hanging out with my kids and my grandkids, and I still teach school, you know, part-time, and so just that, and looking forward to summer, and that's it. I'm done with the city of Tulsa. Done. I'm done. They've disappointed me in many aspects, so.
Just like I asked all the witnesses in this case if they wanted to do interviews, I also asked the city of Tulsa about this. They told me last week it's their policy and the police department's not to do interviews in the middle of a trial. After the jury's verdict, the city sent me this statement. The city appreciates the information and due diligence that came forward in this case. We will evaluate all options moving forward based on the verdict. Covering news that matters, I'm Jana Clark, Fox 23 News.
Because we're talking about the city of Tulsa, these are your tax dollars we're talking about. The jury awarded $569,000. Lewis's attorney tells us because this is a civil lawsuit, several $100,000 more will likely be tacked on in fees and costs. So it could end up being about $1 million. We will let you know when we find out for sure. If you want more details on this case, go to fox23.com and look under the Investigates tab.